Hello students, how are you? Good morning to everybody. Today I would like to explain the Science 7th class first chapter, Food for Health. Food gives us health. So food for health is the better statement, suitable statement for food. Because if we have to take the nutritious food, it keeps our body healthy. For example, several nutrients are present in the food items. In the midday meal, there are several items are given. Rice, dal, egg, chickpea. All these items contains several nutrients. Several ingredients. These ingredients contains different types of nutrients. Here is food gives us mainly energy. Food gives us energy. What is food? We have already known in the 6th class lesson. What is food? Food is the source of energy. Mainly the food gives energy. Food for energy. Not only the energy, food gives us growth and development and also healthy body, and also improves our immunity power. Growth and also development. It also develops our immunity power. Immunity power means disease attacking power. So we have to take several nutrients. In the food, this is the food. Food contains several ingredients. What are ingredients? We have well known in the 6th class. Ingredients means the materials which are required for preparing one food item are called ingredients. Ingredients means the materials that are required for preparation of food item are called ingredients. There are several ingredients are there. For example, in the preparation of upma, there are several ingredients. We are using several ingredients. Upma rava, chilies, oil, different types of ingredients are using in the preparation of upma. All these ingredients contains several types of nutrients. These nutrients otherwise called as food components. Ingredients contains nutrients otherwise called as food components. Food is prepared with several ingredients. Ingredients contains nutrients. These nutrients otherwise called as food components. These food components are 5 types. There are 5 types of food components: carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals. These are the mainly important food components, mainly important nutrients present in several food items. There are 5 food components. Components means nutrients. There are 5 nutrients in different ingredients. These are the 5 food components. There are 5 food components in different ingredients of the food item. Here is carbohydrates, proteins and fats. These 3 are called as macronutrients. Vitamins and minerals, these 2 are called micronutrients. Macronutrients means we are taking these food materials, carbohydrates, proteins and fats, we are taking in larger amounts. Because these nutrients are called macronutrients. Macro means larger grams of nutrients. We need large amount of nutrients. So these are called macronutrients. Vitamins and minerals, we are taking only micrograms of nutrients. So these are called micronutrients. Here we observe the pack of balamrutam. There are several nutrients are given on the pack. What are the nutrients are given? Carbohydrates 67 grams, proteins 11 grams, fat 11 grams, iron 9.1 milligrams, vitamin A 202.5 milligrams, calcium 367 milligrams, vitamin B1 0.6 milligrams, vitamin B2 0.55 milligrams, vitamin C 15.3 milligrams, folic acid 22.1 milligrams, niacin 6.3 milligrams. Here you observe all the nutrients, all the food components. What are the food components we are taking in larger amounts? What are the food components we are taking the larger amounts? You observe on the pack of Balamrutam, what are the nutrients we are taking in larger amounts? Carbohydrates 67 grams, proteins 11 grams, fat 11 grams. These are all carbohydrates, proteins and fats we are taking in larger amounts. So we are taking the larger amounts of food nutrients. These are called macronutrients. You observe all other nutrients. Iron, we are taking the iron only 9.1 milligrams. Vitamin A 202.5 milligrams, calcium 367 milligrams. All are taking vitamin B1, B2, C, folic acid, niacin. All these nutrients we are taking milligrams only. So these are called micronutrients. Nutrients are two types, macronutrients and micronutrients. Macronutrients means the nutrients which are taking larger amounts. Our body needs larger amounts of nutrients. These are called macronutrients. Micronutrients means our body needs only milligrams, smaller amounts of nutrients. These are called micronutrients. Next we will discuss about the role of nutrients. If we write the carbohydrates, fats in one row, carbohydrates, fats in one row, proteins in third row. Carbohydrates and fats both gives us energy. So these are called energy giving nutrients. Energy giving nutrients means carbohydrates and fats both gives us energy to our body. In case of proteins, proteins construct the tissues and muscles in our body and also helps in the construction of bones. So the proteins are called body building nutrients. Body building nutrients. Body building nutrients means the proteins helps us in the construction of bones, muscles and tissues. Next, vitamins and minerals. These vitamins and minerals both are helps us to keep our body healthy, to protect the body from diseases. So these are called protective nutrients. Protective nutrients. According to the role of nutrients, there are three types of nutrients: energy giving nutrients, body building nutrients, protective nutrients. Next we will discuss about carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are the energy giving nutrients. There are several ingredients contains 70% above carbohydrates than other nutrients. For example, rice, jowar, finger millet, maize, potato contains rich amount of carbohydrates. How to test the carbohydrates? How to prove the carbohydrates present in one ingredient? For example, we have to take millets, wheat flour. How to test the carbohydrates? How to identify the presence of carbohydrates? We have to use one chemical that is called iodine solution. Iodine solution. First of all, we have to take dilute iodine solution. This dilute iodine solution in light brown color. When we add 2 or 3 drops of iodine solution to the sample solution, it gives blue or black color. It represents the presence of carbohydrates in the sample. Take a test tube. Take one test tube. Fill it with a sample. For example, take wheat flour. Mix in the water. This is the sample. Add 2 or 3 drops of dilute iodine solution. After adding the iodine solution, the ingredient's color is changed to blue or black color. If the sample turns into blue or black color, it indicates that the presence of carbohydrates in the sample. Next, we will discuss about proteins. Proteins are the body building nutrients because they construct the muscles, tissues and also bones. So these are called body building nutrients. Mostly the animal dishes, chicken, mutton, fish curry, several items are there, egg, milk, soya beans, pulses, all these food items contains 50% above of proteins. In the animal proteins, for example, meat, fish, 80% of proteins are present in all these things. And also some traditional foods are also there. Pesaratlu, minapatlu, garelu, vada, punugulu, sunnundalu, idli, all these are contains proteins because we are using pulses, menumulu. We are using menumulu nothing but pulses. The pulses contains more amount of proteins. So the traditional food items are also contain proteins. How to test the proteins? How to prove the presence of proteins? We have to use 2 chemicals. 2% of copper sulfate, 10% of sodium hydroxide. How to prepare 2% of copper sulfate? 2 grams of copper sulfate dissolves in 100 ml of water, that is 2% of copper sulfate. 10% of sodium hydroxide. How to prepare 10% of sodium hydroxide? 10 grams of sodium hydroxide should be dissolved in 100 ml of water, that makes 10% of sodium hydroxide. How to prepare 2% of copper sulfate? 2 grams of copper sulfate is dissolved into 100 ml of water, that makes 2% of copper sulfate. After preparing the 2% of copper sulfate, 10% of sodium hydroxide, we have to take one sample. For example, egg white. Take egg white sample in the test tube. This is the test tube. We have to take egg white sample. Egg white. Mix into the water. Take egg white sample. Add 2% of copper sulfate of 2 drops. 2 drops of copper sulfate, 10 drops of sodium hydroxide. Shake well. After shaking well, put the mixture in the test tube stand for a few minutes. After that, the mixture color is changed into violet color. This indicates that the presence of proteins. If the mixture turns into violet color after adding 2 drops of copper sulfate, 10 drops of sodium hydroxide, shake well. After shaking well, put the mixture in the test tube stand for a few minutes. It turns into violet color. Turning into violet color, that indicates the presence of proteins in the sample. The mixture turns into violet color. This violet color indicates that the presence of proteins in the mixture. Next, fats. Fats are also one of the energy giving nutrients. So these are called energy giving nutrients or calorie nutrients. There are several examples of fats in our daily life. Butter, ghee, almond oil. There are several oils. Cooking oils, coconut oil, groundnut oil and ghee also one of the best example for fats. How to test the fats? Take a small sample of fat, rub on the paper. Take white paper, take some sample of fat, rub on the white paper. The white paper becomes the oily paper. If the white paper turns into oily paper, that indicates the presence of the fat in the sample. Children, today we will discuss about carbohydrates, fats and proteins, and also testing methods of these nutrients. Children, have you understood well? If there is any doubt, ask me. I will clarify your doubt. Thank you very much, children. Thank you. Bye bye.